What's up, y'all? Tim Ream here. This is day 11 of the 75 hard program. I already did one 45-minute workout outside, which is a requirement. The second one is where I'm at right now. I'm going to do back and calves. I'm prioritizing my calves. I'm trying to bring that body part up, so I'm putting those at the beginning of the routine so I can give them the focus and everything and the attention that they deserve, right? If I put them at the end of my workout, then by the time I get to them, I'm already exhausted and I'll go light on them, so I put them at the beginning. I already got calf machines. I'm going to do standing calves and then seated calves. I already got those set up. So I'm going to move pretty quickly along through all these workouts from one exercise to the next, especially whenever we get into back. And but yeah, man, let's go. I got the timer set. Let's hit 45-minute workout here.
And if you're unfamiliar with the 75 hard program, it is the initial phase of the Live Hard program, which you can get for free at episode 208 on the audio feed only. There is a book, the book on mental toughness, available on my website at andyfrisella.com. And if you're unfamiliar with the 75 hard program, it is the world's largest mental transformation program ever, and it's free. So you don't need the book. The book is very helpful. People enjoy it. We sell a ton of them. They're usually out of stock. But if you go on there, you can pre-order it, but you don't need to. You can just get the program for free at episode 208 on the audio feed. You're going to notice we don't have ads on the show. That means I don't want to take orders from people who are paying me to represent their products, so I don't do ads. Probably the only podcast in the world that doesn't do that. And in exchange for that, I just ask very simply that you help us get the word out. We're constantly battling shadow bans and censorship and all the stuff going on in the world. So if you think the message is good, if you think it's valuable, if it makes you think, if it makes you laugh, if it gives you new perspective, teaches you some skills, which hopefully will teach you some today, all I ask is that you please get the word out and share the show. So don't be a hoe. Share the show. All right. What's up, dude? What's going on with you, man? Yeah. Just training. Fake entrepreneur. Hey, are we gonna play the conversation before the show? We should. All right, just put that in there. Put that shit right in there. DJ called me a fake entrepreneur. 2 hours and 49 minutes. All right, let's do this.
Just mowed the lawn. Took me like 2.5 hours. This is the first time I did it all year long. It was really high. Do not feel like doing this right now. Feel a little bit better now that I'm in here, but just kind of dreading it. But I heard one time that those workouts that you do that you don't feel like doing are like the mortar, you know, on the foundation that you're building. So, you know, I thought that was a good analogy. So, you know, feel pretty good now that I'm in here. You got the burn, you get the burn, it's like, hell yeah, let's fucking roll with it.
He's out here playing entrepreneur and shit. Oh yeah, I was late. Yeah. Alright, so
and these fucking guys talking on this this show here is funny as fuck, dude.
I was out there having to do stuff for my real job. Guy who has a podcast, bro. Yeah. He's a YouTuber. Dude, I forgot. I forgot that this is my main job. Bro, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're a program. So the guys are giving me a little heat. It is what it is. Yeah, that's all good, man. It happens. It happens, man. What's going on? We're trading. That's my good. You know what it is? What is it? It's my CPT. What's CPT, Andy? It's colored people time. What? I am part black. I'm 12%. Yeah. So there's obviously a part of me that has that. Is that a real thing or not? Oh, it's a real thing. What's it called? Yeah, it's not colored people time. Okay, why can't I say that if I'm 12%? No, you can say it. You said it. I know I said it. How do you feel? A little weird. I'm not too comfortable with it yet. Yeah. Yeah, fuck. I mean, is that against the rules? No. Okay. But yeah, man. So it's not against the rules? No, that's a fair game. I mean, you are the approval. Let me call my board real quick. Call the official.
Been moving through these workouts a little longer than I would typically do it. Since I've got it on videotape, I'm trying to, you know, walk you guys through a little bit of the process as I'm working out, what's going on in my mind, why I'm doing what I'm doing. Actually, I've been waiting on this workout today because back's like one of my favorite workouts, and I just really want to get the mind into the muscle and, you know, hit that last set to failure, like all the way, and move from one exercise to the next with pretty frequently. So I just really want to close my eyes on these last few reps and just really focus. At the gym, man, most of the time there's a lot of people around. I've just got my eyes closed, just doing my thing, man, trying to stay as focused as possible. So that's kind of what I want to do. I've been thinking about it all day, really, getting in here and working out back. I went through some of the old footage too, and I just like, whenever you actually see yourself on video, you're like, oh, I could have been like, I could take those reps slower. I feel like I maybe could have went a little bit more intense on that. So it's been good just reviewing some of this footage and everything, just for me to get some feedback and improve my process and my method. So
that's the Midwest. It's the Midwest, you know. Yeah. It's this time of year, and then also in fall. You gotta like leave the house with different sorts of clothes, because you never know what it's gonna do.
Yeah, it's real shit.
What's going on with you, man? Training, getting 2 hands, get back in it.
Get back into it, making some quick changes.
yeah, Dorian, he's like, dude, that last set's got to be like somebody's got a gun to your baby's head, and they're gonna fucking pull the trigger unless you give it your 100% all. I can definitely say I haven't been going that hard. I've been going pretty hard, but not that hard. So, you know, that's the intensity I'm gonna try to keep up through this workout, or close to it. So I'm gonna move right into this workout. This is the step to failure here on calves with standing calves.
Oh, see, that's like it's on. So you gotta like plus like probably like a day. The motherfuckers say after anything after that, just write it off.
I waited till like 2, and then I'm like, all right, I got ready. So just know I waited. I had to take 2 servings of pre-workout because I got hyped, and then it went down. I had to take another one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all
I
good.
took a picture of Andy. I never imagine you were like me waiting for my dad to pick me up at soccer practice.
I was
shit.
It's just DJ forgot about me.
Oh man.
So what we got today, man?
Hey, man, we're gonna make some people better. We're gonna make some people better. That's the plan. That's
I say this, I know the people are rooting for you to get your shit together in your training.
yeah, a lot of love.
Dude, I'm getting DMs about it. People are pumped.
Yeah, a lot of love. And yeah,
They want to see the ribs and dick. I know that's on your
I can show them
OnlyFans.
one of them.
It's on your OnlyFans.
Can't show both. Show you one.
Which would ain't the ribs.
All right, let's do it. Guys, question number 1. Let's dive into these. Question number 1, Andy. What's going on, Andy? I'm currently 27. I'm currently 24 years old, and I work at a machine shop. I also do side work at a farm for extra cash and other miscellaneous side gigs I can do. He sells drugs on the side.
Okay, miscellaneous.
Straight to jail. He says, I will be attending trade school to become an electrician in the fall for the next 2 years. I have 0 debt, and I try to diversify and allocate my money into the right spots to not only preserve what I have, but to also multiply and build wealth. My question is, I feel like I have a lot going on, and I constantly have new ideas that I want to pursue just because I'm a curious person, and I would like to be the jack of all trades. How would you handle the fact that you want to try so many new things and become more valuable and can't tie down to one thing? Sometimes I feel like I'm wasting my time thinking about so many different ideas. I love all that you guys do. I will keep supporting and watching the show.
All right. So I really appreciate the hustle. I appreciate the willingness to do all these things. I think that's a great thing, to have that ambition and to have that drive and be willing to be curious and learn. And if you're going to do those things, in your 20s is the right time. So I'm not going to sit here and say that that's a bad thing, but I want you to keep something in mind. The reason most people don't succeed is because they can't pick something, all right? And because they can't pick something, they are unable to invest the time and the energy and the effort to become a master of it, right? A jack of all trades, but a master of none. That's the saying, and that's true. And so you have to consider that. You will be competing against people who have chosen one of those things as their main thing. And it's a very arrogant thought and a misguided thought to believe that you can beat someone, even if they're not as skilled as you, with only a percentage of your work ethic and your energy if they're going all in. So I think it's okay that you're kind of exploring, and I think it's okay that you are curious and you want to know, because I think you don't want to make a decision and hate it, right? And by the way, if that does happen, it's not a total waste. Not a total waste, because you're going to learn, right? You're going to learn skill sets, and you can take those skill sets and apply them somewhere else. Like, for example, if you're making fucking hamburgers right now, you're making fries right now, you should be making the best hamburgers out of everybody else that you work with, and you should be making the best fucking fries. And why that matters is because you're cultivating the mentality.
If you don't get freaking goosebumps and chills on that last set, god damn, dude, like fucking shocks up the back of your fucking legs, then, dude, I don't know, man, I get them. It's fucking crazy. But you can actually kind of get to the point where it's like, once you get to that failure point and you keep pushing past it, you can almost, if you're really focused, you can almost feel like the fibers in your muscle like kind of tearing. And like that's where I try to get at, especially with calves. It's like a more focused exercise where it's super isolated, not like back, where there's a lot of muscle groups going and firing at one time, but especially on like smaller muscle groups, you can do that with like biceps and your triceps and then your calves there. But you can actually feel those muscle fibers if you're starting to actually go towards the end of your muscular ability. All right, I'm gonna switch this camera angle. That's gonna be calves, just brief and infrequent. Yeah, I'm gonna switch this camera angle. Be right back with you.
A lot of people hear luck, they start to make would be to try to figure out what it is you want to do as quickly as possible, and then go all in on that and remove the rest of the shit. Okay, because you don't want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none, because what that equates to is you not being competitive in the field that you're in. And that equates to you not having
Get all these machines set up. Kind of takes a minute, but I actually like it better because I've got to have the routine in my mind before I ever get in here if I want to stay like in the flow. So it's like come and get everything set up. I've already got all the workouts and everything done in my mind first.
I actually like it better because I've got to have the routine in my mind before I ever get in here.
Kind of feel a little bit off today,
like in the flow.
but
So
just feelings don't matter.
come and
Just
get everything set up,
doing the work
got all the
regardless.
workouts and everything done in my mind first. And
now
yeah,
we're in a
dude, so
situation where we educate guests on what we want to do. And
kind of feel a little bit off today,
and
but
you're able to
just feelings don't matter. Just doing the work regardless.
You're able to maybe beat some of the other people that because you're better, you're putting in more experience, or you're putting in more work, or you're learning more, or if you've got a better coach or a better mentor that's actually done what you do. Not one of these fucking dumb fucks out here that lies about everything. Then those people can collapse your time frame on becoming an expert. The point is, you want to make your choice as quickly as possible. You want to go all in as quickly as possible, because it's going to take that all-in effort to be competitive in the marketplace. So that would be my advice to a 24-year-old. Now, if I were to give this advice to a 34-year-old or a 44-year-old, it would maybe be, hey, motherfucker, you need to stop fucking around and pick the thing you're going to do, or you ain't going to have the fucking time to do it. You see what I'm saying? So there's, as you go, and by the way, if you're 34 or you're 44 and you're just getting started, that's okay too. But you better find someone who's done what it is you're trying to do.
I'm gonna start off with I don't even know what you'd call them, but it's basically like a pullover variation, but with a rope in front of you. I think pull downs, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. But that's what I'm gonna start out with.
I love that. A couple things on this. People always say, that saying.
Do a couple warm-up sets and then get right into my set to failure.
The second part of that says, but a master of one is still better than a master of none. Right? And so like you're still gonna get beat out by somebody who went all on that one thing.
Look,
it's impossible.
There's very fucking few people. So this is the fallacy of the internet, right? You see all these fucking coaches who've never built a motherfucking thing, all these guys wanting to be podcasters and speakers and entrepreneurial authorities, and they sell courses on shit they never did. They they're not effective entrepreneurs. Their whole income stream is to sell other people.
I've been doing like,
you know, they didn't actually right?
each muscle group twice a week.
A lot of these
And I'm gonna start cycling like
that are highly misleading.
maybe one muscle group out of that cycle. I'm kind of saying this weird. So I basically got an AM and PM workout 3 days in a row. Then I got 1 day off. Then I got the same exact split for 3 days in a row and 1 day off. So I just cycle those. So I'm hitting a muscle group twice a week, basically. It's a little much, so I'm going to start pulling at least one muscle group out of there. I'll hit it once for the week, but then on the second rotation for that week, I'm going to pull it out, give it a rest day, throw in some cardio just to give myself rest. And I'm going to alternate those days to where I'm getting like, you know, every 6 weeks, I will cycle off every single muscle group. So, back, I've noticed that my lifts have went down a little bit, so I'm going to give it a little bit of break. And that'll probably be one of the next ones that I pull out of the routine just to give it a break for like a week or whatever. Or at least one cycle off.
Now, I do that with cannabis, I do that with tequila, I do that with, you know, I help with all these other things that are all, the skill sets all aligned, right? Like, you don't ever find these entrepreneurs who are like, you know, they get one thing and then all of a sudden, like, they didn't just do a CPG brand and then all of a sudden they're a restaurateur, right? Or they're a fucking, I don't know, they own a concrete company. Like, usually you take the skill sets that you have and you apply them to parallel type situations, which allows you to scale very quickly in these other brands. But this whole idea of I'm going to, you know, have 7 streams of income when I'm 19 years old, and that's what's no, because you're going to lose that way because you're competing against people who are putting all their energy into one thing, and you're not. So it's impossible to compete like that. Does that make sense? Absolutely. So
this is kind of to mimic that like Nautilus pullover.
And I was like, man, look,
and you'd be seated in that, and you're basically just using your elbows. And you're driving them down towards your hips and to your sides and squeezing at the end, which is kind of hard to replicate on this. Best way I know how to do is just kind of do more of the motion with the elbows. The thing with the Nautilus is, or well, I'll say start with this. The thing with this is like you're grabbing it with your hands, so you got your forearm strength in there. You got your biceps and triceps that come into play. And so there's like different muscle groups that you're working along with the lat. Whereas if you got the Nautilus machine, it's literally against your elbow, so you just have nothing but that squeeze there. You take the biceps out of it, you take the forearms and all that stuff, so it's a lot more of an isolated workout for the lats, which I would love to have it, but this is as close as I can get. But just to try to mimic it, you know, I'm trying to just really just focus, instead of like being out like this and squeezing down, I'm trying to just make sure I'm doing more of the elbow down motion to mimic it the best that I can.
You know what I mean? So having a business, having an LLC, having a, you know, that's not like, that doesn't matter. It's how much money you fucking make. You know what I mean? So yeah, dude, it's very easy for me to see this where I'm at, right? I'm 44 years old now. 25 years in business since I was 19, in the same business, not in fucking business. Like, I started a bunch and they failed, right? I haven't had a business fail since I was 19 years old. All of them are fucking wrong. So when we're going to the set to failure on this one here. Actually, that's not true. I did have one that was failed. We'll talk about that another time. But the point is that it's very easy for me to see how this works, and it's very hard for the young person to see how it works. So, you know, go back and listen to this question a few times if you just get started. But just remember, you're not going to be able to get great at the one thing that's going to make you all the money if you're spreading your effort across multiple things, where this person's already learned the main things that they need to do. So that's like competing against someone who spends all their time playing basketball, and you think you're going to be as good as them, but you're also bowling, and you're playing baseball, and you're playing hockey, and you're playing wrestling, and you're playing football, and you're practicing all this shit. I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say that anyone who practices all of his time in basketball is going to beat your ass. And that's the same in business. So when you think about that,
I love it. I love it, man. What's your number 2? Hey, I graduate high school in 2 weeks.
You can really explode down and then catch that movement and squeeze with your lats on the way up. And catch that negative, but be squeezing, and then go until you're fully extended and stretch at the very top of that movement. Dude, that ends up being a really good workout. We're basically pre-exhausting the lats before we actually go to the actual pull downs. We do start off with close grip pull downs over here.
Yeah, I'll give you a bunch of things. One, you're going to be lazy as fuck, so you're going to be out of the habits of doing the work every day, which most people never get back into. 2, by not paying attention to what's going on, business and the society and everything that's going on in terms of having and when you come back and not pay attention again, you're going to be way behind. 3, the people who don't take a gap year automatically are year ahead of you. Automatically. And I know you think, what does actually a year ahead of me? No, it actually does. Okay? So there's 3 reasons. Now,
And
benefits taking a gap year,
I just want to introduce that burn on that first exercise,
I went to Europe
and then pretty much start, just keep that burn going.
take a whole year off.
And that's even with the couple warm-up sets. I'll use those to keep it going and then work my way up into the sets of failure.
Is that it breaks the routine of you having.
I got a really good pump right now, so I'm going to move right into this one.
Very, very important, especially if you're going to go on to build a career. Now, a lot of people aren't going to college, but clearly, you know, if you're going to be a lawyer, you know, some states they let you take the bar without it, but it's probably a good idea to go to college, right, if you're going to be a lawyer. But if you're not going to be something that requires a professional degree like that, you should automatically go into the workforce, because most companies aren't even looking for degrees anymore. They're not looking for indoctrinated employees. Like, honestly, like when people apply here with their college degree, I almost don't want to hire them, because I know they've been fed a bunch of fucking bullshit. So I'm not saying this because you don't want to take the gap year so that you can go to college right away. I'm saying this is that that's a valuable year for you to get ahead of all your peers if you choose to go hard right away. I started my business at 19 years old. All right, I went to 1 year of college and I was like, man, this ain't for me. And then I kept going to college when I first started my business, and I got 3 years in. I'm like, no, fuck this. These people are stupid. I learned it for myself. But it just depends.
If you learn how to just really slow down with that exercise, especially,
Good idea to go to school.
and just keep your lats flexed the entire time, find out how far back you need to be leaning, what wrist, you know, what range of motion you need to be coming across your chest, right, for it to get that maximum contraction there. It can be a super awesome workout. I don't know if it's as much of a power movement. At least I'm not using it as much of a power movement as I am for just a regular, just real focused, deep stretch and burn and sculpting type workout. But that thing is beast if you actually slow down, throw the ego out of it, get a moderately heavy weight that you can really just focus and squeeze with.
If you were my kid, I would tell you this. I would say, hey, it's okay to go see the world, take a trip for 2 weeks, do whatever you gotta do, but let's fucking get after it right now, because your peers and the people you're competing against, they're gonna be not only taking a year off, they're gonna be fucking off for 4 more years in college, and then they're gonna try to figure out what they do. I would say, hey, let's get to work.
I'm gonna do 2 warm-up sets with this exercise, and then I'm pretty much gonna start moving right into my sets to failure.
It's a valuable time because
So I am pretty much warmed up after this, or I will be. So
if you were my son, that's what I would say. But you ain't. So
you know, those warm-up sets, they actually still do count as some volume. There is work involved in them. So there's calorie expenditure, energy expenditure, and there is you know, tension on the muscle. So all that stuff does add up. So if I can start taking those warm-up sets out of there and move them pretty quick into those heavy sets to failure, then It's going to be less volume
I know that life happens to everyone.
and via less recovery that is demanded by my body as far as the resources go, chemical resources.
What have you found to be the best way to get through them? I feel like a lot of people suffer in silence and don't know how to get out of the suffering without feeling like they're a part of the victim mentality bullshit. How do we handle this?
Look, man, you're gonna have bad times. You're gonna have hard times. Everybody has them. Okay, it's called life. Here's the thing: when hard times come, when bad shit happens, most people lay down and they stop trying. They go and they curl up in a little ball in the shower and they fucking cry and they boo-hoo about their life. And a lot of times, that's justified, all right? Your child could die. You could lose a sibling. Your parents could, who knows? Lots of shit, okay? And it's okay to be upset. That's not what I'm saying.
Damn, it's kind of crazy because last back exercise I did at Planet Fitness, and I didn't have my straps with me. And I could tell a big difference on just like the weights that I was able to use and on the failure sets, because dude, my grip strength wasn't near as much. And this does take a lot off of your grip strength and forearms. And the more isolated you can get on the muscle that you're working, you got, if you're using your hands, you got your forearms in there, you got more biceps. Like, if you can take those weaker links out in order to work that bigger muscle, I'm all for it. I think it's actually probably better practice just to get more of an isolated squeeze and better form and contraction in that muscle.
Fire burning down your house. You can't control these things. But what you can control is that you can control what you eat, you can control how you move your body, you control what you put in your mind, you can control how you treat people, you control your attitude, you control all of these things. And those things are the most important things to your daily state of mind and your daily state of being, okay? If you're eating well, and you're drinking water, and you're putting good things in your mind, and you're continuing to make progress, you're gonna feel much better than the person who's just wallowing in their hardship, all right? And not only that, and this is the most important thing, most people get paralyzed in terms of progress of their life when hard things happen. And if you have developed the ability to control the controllables and move through and continue to progress when everybody else quits, you've got a big gap there. You create a big advantage for yourself because most people can't do that, all right? So, and I know it's hard, but sometimes the best way to get through things is to actually just keep pushing through, and that way, when you do start feeling better, you don't look back and you say, fuck, I let all my progress die. I let my business die. I let my career die. I got fat. I got this. And you don't have this huge mountain that you have to climb now to get back where you were because you were disciplined enough and smart enough to control those things through the hardship. Okay, so now, instead of being in this bad mental spot, you've kind of worked your way out of it. You're like, fuck, all right, I'm starting to feel better. And you look back, you're like, well, fuck, I didn't really even get off track because I was controlling the controllables. So I'm in a really good spot, okay? And so not only is it good for you mentally, but it's also good for you in the terms of how much progress you're making against your peers. And a lot of people say, man, there's fucking no such thing as competition. I'm just competing with myself. Bullshit. Okay? There's very little spots at the top of high earner potential. And that's what we talk about here. We talk about earning potential, making money, kicking ass in business and life. There are very few spots at the top. It is a limited fucking placing. Okay, that's why there's so few of them. And then below that, the level of pretty good, there's more of those. And then there's average, where by definition, there's the most of those. That's why it's called average. All right? So, most people end up because A, like we talked about at the beginning, they don't pick the thing. B, they spread their efforts across multiple things. C, when bad things happen, they paralyze themselves and they don't make that progress. And all the while, the people who do all of those things continue to move forward, which creates a huge gap in the results that are produced. And dude, the reality is the world rewards results. It doesn't care if you're sad. It doesn't care if you don't feel good. It doesn't care if you're going through bullshit. The world doesn't give a fuck. And you have to understand this. And you can argue about it, you can cry about it, you can say it's not fair, but that is the way it is. So if you can build yourself into someone who can move through the hard times effectively, maybe not at top level, but at least effectively, so that we're not having to climb this big mountain that you created by pausing and just wallowing, bro, you got a really good chance of beating everybody else out. So that's the way to look at it, in my opinion.
I'm gonna get real quick because I really would like to see your take on this, right? You got stabbed. You were 22, 23 years old, and you were stabbed.
Right.
You said that was about a 2-year.
No, I usually do a straight bar, palms up, close grip with a straight bar pull down. It's pretty bicep intensive. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go right into my, so I feel it's kind of building the same exact volume on top of the same movement, even though it's a different variation. I got a really good pump going right now. That last set right there was like, fuck, dude. But I'm going to go right into the single arm pull downs for lats on each side and then go into the rows there.
This time, and by the way, it's a different thing, okay? There's different levels of severity here. And as bad as the shooting was, it's still a bad thing, but it wasn't as bad as getting stabbed with fucking right?
I look at it the same.
Well, it's less traumatic, I'll say that. So, but the amount of mental impact that it had was very similar, all right? Because I was at, first of all, I was in the best shape of my life. I had all the momentum, and it completely derailed all of that. But what I did, instead of wallowing, I did what the fuck I could. I come in here, I fucking train with one arm. I would do everything I could. I keep good. I train with one arm. I didn't put on heavy weight. I didn't get fat again. I kept my weight on. I kept my fitness close to in check. And I think that made it so like I was able to continue moving forward in all areas of my life. So
I want to go as heavy as I possibly can on this workout here.
I feel sorry for myself. And by the
These
way,
single arm pull downs.
it was one of the better.
I just feel like blasting today.
I said it was the best thing that ever happened to me because it changed my perspective. You know, having my shoulder reconstructed and peak of my physicality and mental being, and then having to go back and then working through that was a huge mental test.
Man, and sometimes,
so now I look back
and sometimes like it'll be like chest day, Monday, or you know whatever. But you really feel like doing back, like. Dude, fuck the chest day. Like, if I feel like doing a workout, like that's the one I'm doing. Like, keep momentum, keeping things fresh, like changing it up. Whenever you feel like doing it, you got the mental energy for it. You've already seen the workout in your mind. Just throwing the chest in there just disrupts it, man. So, you know,
also like a universal aspect of this too, right? Because
there's certain times that you want to do that. It just helps with the longevity aspect of your workout, especially with these really intense workouts that you're doing, you know? You got to cycle some sort of intensity or rep range or some shit just to keep it fresh to where it's not so grueling coming in every fucking time.
Day in and day out, day in and day out. Poor me, I'm fucked up. I got this wrong with me. I got that wrong with me. I can't do this because of that. You're actually putting all of your focus on all these things that are bad in your life. And when you put your focus on all these things that are bad in your life, you know what the universe gives you? More bad shit. Okay? And this is why, you know, while I think therapy may be beneficial for some people, I think it's totally overblown. I think it's highly predatory for a lot of these therapists because these therapists have no incentive to actually get you better because you're paying them to continue to be fucked up. All right, so they want you to talk about your shit. They want you to focus on your shit because they know that if you focus on your shit and talk about your shit, you can't get through your shit. All right, now I'm not saying that you shouldn't talk to someone. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it is way overblown in terms of how appropriate it is. And if you actually want to get better, you're focusing on what you're trying to create and who you're trying to become.
That's really bicep intensive too.
And not focusing on how bad she is and how hard.
That is what it is.
That is a.
Don't really know too many other
For sure.
isolated lat movement like that. It's just like one arm at a time. Maybe lawnmowers, but I don't really feel like they
If you're in a down spot and you're
give too good of a. I don't really like them, man.
You have to just make.
And I don't really have the dumbbells to get heavy enough for it to really, for me to actually feel like I'm doing enough. And that's a row movement. This is more of a pull down, but.
He does this, he does this, he does this,
All right.
he does this. And then start doing
I started with my weak side.
controlling the controllables,
I got like 14 on that one, so
that fucking place.
whenever I go to get to 14 on my strong side, I'm going to cut it off there, even if I've got more in the tank.
To push through. You
Keep that strength even across the board
because
on each
it's a year-long
side.
program, and you know, it takes up 40% of your year. You're bound to have adversity during that program. So if you can learn to work through the adversity and stay on the program, you learn a new skill set, which is very valuable, which is how to move forward when everybody else gets paralyzed. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Actually, I remember, I think it might have been like the second day or third day after your surgery. You were like, well, let's see what I'm made of.
Yeah. Well, motherfucker, I did cardio fucking 30 minutes after my surgery just to prove a point to myself.
Yeah. So I think that's some real shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I love it.
Was that 3? You got 4? You got another one? Another one?
Yeah, let's pour some sauce.
Extra sauce.
I've got that arm there
Sauce.
on my lap just to make sure I can feel it squeezing. Each rep, I got my hand there just to, I don't know, it just reminds me to flex.
No.
And it just helps me out to focus a bit.
Head
I like
cheese
doing
is
that.
the stuff you got on your little pea there.
No, that's dick cheese.
All right,
That's head cheese.
we'll go over here to rows.
No, sauce is like a real thing.
You got a cheesy? You got the cheesy pea?
No, I thought you have to be like, that's
I don't know what the fuck you are. Okay. So you got the mushroom tip?
Mm-hmm. I thought they did a great job with it, actually.
Yeah, I feel good about mine too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Solid. You got one of those mushrooms too? Yeah. All right. What'd you say?
All right.
That's why he likes jiu-jitsu so much. He rubbing on everybody. All right, let's do it, guys. Stay focused. This is very serious. Stop it. This is serious. We're serious here. This is a fucking serious show.
All right, back to make people better.
Yeah.
Question number 4, guys. Andy. Andy, how do you tame your nervous system in moments of high stress or perceived conflict? I am 24 years old. I've been a business owner. Tough conversations and perceived conflict sends my body as a fight or flight. Even though I logically know there's no real imminent danger. I have been working on addressing these situations head on and talking to myself through them. However, I still feel my heart rate increase, palms get sweaty, and feeling like I can't get my words out or address the situation in the moment like I need to. Often freeze. You have to tips for calming the nervous system or the fight or flight response so you can address conversations and situations effectively.
Absolutely. First of all, if you're a young entrepreneur, this is not abnormal to feel nervous when you have to have conversations that there may be some contention in them, okay? That's a normal thing. And the way that you ultimately get through that is by having them over and over and over again to the point where
It's a new exercise
it's natural to have them.
with kind of a new rep range, so
Just commit to working through this
whereas I was
process.
going into my maxes pretty fast after those first couple sets to warm up with,
Change it up. It would
I'm
just
gonna
be
go back to warming up just to get the the basic motion, squeeze and contract, get my mind in the muscle, do that for like 2 warm-up sets, just to get all warmed up with the new exercise since it's a new machine, and then go right back into muscular failure. I'll do 1 double close grip type row to failure, and then I'm gonna go with a single arm on each side, and that's gonna be done.
And it's gonna be hard because you already decided that. So instead, just say,
I know I'm not talking as much as what I usually am, and like taking you guys through like every little bitty piece of what I'm thinking and all that, but I'm kind of exhausted. Feel like what I am saying, I'm putting my foot in my mouth. I don't want to just be talking to be talking, and I really do want to focus on the workout, so there might be times where I just come in here, I don't say a motherfucking word, I don't know. But I'm just going to go with how I feel right now, and it's just shut up and fucking work. That's what I feel like doing, so.
They really struggle with this because
all right, we'll start on this first warm-up set here.
Tell someone what they need or direct someone, right? So they're very uncomfortable with it, and they feel like, fuck, I don't want to tell somebody what this means, or I don't want to have this conversation, I don't want to be direct because I don't to think that I'm better than them. No, dude, it's not that you're better than them. And this is point number 3. You have to realize that that's your role. Your role on the team is to direct the boat on the right course. And you can't get the boat on the right course unless you're talking to people who are rowing the boat, right? And you might be rowing the boat too. So you might have to talk while you're rowing. And you might have to say to the guys, hey, you guys over there on the right, you're rowing a little too slow. We got to pick it up so we can go straight and we don't go in a circle. You see what I'm saying? That's not a hard conversation because...
And that right there is like flex the entire time and just full range of motion, stretch, come back to just that contract, explode backwards and then catch that negative back. And that's flexing the entire time. I'd actually rather, especially on this workout, just because I found out how easy it is to get isolated and really focused with this workout. Seated rows, like I like going not totally my max heavy weight, but just a little bit under that so I can pull out more reps. And just make sure like my entire muscle group is really just burning and pumped, and I've really exhausted it on that last one. So I could bump up weight a little bit more on this last one, but yeah, I like being able to have that squeeze and contraction there. All right.
You're invaluable and ineffective in the team. And a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, they don't understand this concept. They don't understand that they have to give feedback. They have to be willing to say, hey, here's where I'm having an issue. Because that's valuable shit to the leadership. And leadership will value someone 100 times more that will come to them and say, hey, here's a problem I see, without abusing that conversation. Okay? Because there's 2 kinds of people. There's people who come and give you the exact feedback you need that is valuable, who is a team player, and they say, hey, this is what I noticed. I think it needs to get fixed here. What can we do to fix this? And then there's the other kind of person who will disguise their feedback as a complaint or as a way to get something more from them. All right? And that always means everything. That usually sounds like bitching. Okay? So there's a big difference between bitching and giving constructive feedback. If you just go to your leadership and teach all the time because you hear Andy say it's important to give feedback or you're invaluable, you're going to get fired. Because people don't like that. They don't like getting bitched at. They don't like hearing gossip. They don't. There's important shit and then there's non-important shit. And your job in giving feedback is to keep all the non-important shit off the plate of your leader and make their job easier, and then bring the important shit to them so that they can fix it and can move forward. So this ability to directly communicate is a massive asset, not just for the leadership, but also the people who are on the team that aren't necessarily the main leader. You can be a leader peer-to-peer too. That's a whole other thing. Like, if you're on a team and you're in the boat, and I'm just giving you some free game on how to be more valuable, and you're back there and you hear the other guy and he's like, fuck this is stupid, this is blah, blah, blah. That's where you go to the guy and be like, hey, I'm a fucker on the team, bro. We need someone else rowing, right? And what most people will do is they'll do this fucking pussy shit. Well, some people are upset because of who people. Well, I don't want to name names. Well then, bro, you're not valuable to me. Because I can't fix the problem if you won't name the fucking names.
Gotta play guess who and try to figure this shit out.
It's the most annoying shit in the world. And the reason it happens is because there isn't trust between the leadership and the team. Okay? The leadership has to earn trust of the team to know that they have the team's best interest in mind, and then the team will be more likely to communicate directly to you. And that's what you want. You want direct communication both ways. Hey, guys, I need you to row a little harder. The guy in the back said, hey, my oar's fucked up. I need to fucking do this, okay? All right, good. Hey, that guy over there, that guy ain't fucking, he don't want to be here. Let's throw him off the boat, right? Let's get someone on here that does. That's all valuable shit. But what's not valuable is going to the front of the boat and saying, man, I'm fucking tired. I don't like this. I don't like the way the oars are hurting my hands. You know, like I don't like the way, I don't like the tone you use when you tell us to row. That shit is down. You know what I'm saying? We're here to win. We're here to kick ass. We're here to be productive. We're here to win as a team. And that requires open conversation, direct conversation, honest feedback without all the trash. Okay, so hopefully that'll help some of you guys.
Yeah, 100%, man. I love it. Well, guys, 80. That was fun.
Yeah. Try not to be a little.
Been trying to connect my mind with that saying. It's like you have to have, on that last set, you have to imagine somebody's got a gun to your baby's head and they're going to pull the trigger if you don't give it your all. Been trying to connect with that in my head while I'm on this last set and really trying to go past the mental barrier that makes you want to give up. And that's been helping keep pushing through on those last few. Oh man. And it kind of begs the question, like, most people like doing a ton of volume in their workout. I mean, if you go past your body's max last time into that red light zone is what I call it, and in your redlining, past what your body's used to, that's what's going to stimulate growth. And how many times do you have to do that? I mean, technically you only got to do it once. And anything more than that, you're actually starting to chip away at your body's recovery ability. And what maybe was going to take you in 5 days or 3 or 4 or 5 days to recover with just one set, now it might take you 6. And if you're doing 3 sets, then that might take you 7 or 8. And if you're using your training journal right, then you should be able to tell that by the time you get back in here, if you've done it properly, you've gotten stronger. But if you've not done it properly and not had enough rest time, then you probably got weaker. And if you start getting scientific with it and saying, how many days do I actually need for how many sets, then, you know, you're going to be able to get scientific with it and whittle away the things that actually aren't serving you. And it just is kind of begs the question, like, how many sets do you actually need? I believe it's only one. You only got to go past your body's ability in order for it to cope one time. I mean, that makes sense to me, dude. And I'd like to see somebody go, if you're doing 6 exercises for back, I'd like to see you do 5 sets on each exercise, which would be 30 sets, every single one of them to failure. You couldn't. It'd be like asking somebody to do non-stop heavy maximum squatting for an entire hour. You ain't doing it. Like Mike Mincer brought up that point, and he's like, you obviously know that there's some sort of limitation with your body, or you would just take off the next 6 months and work out 12-hour days, and if more was better, then you would become Mr. Olympia that way. So there's obviously some sort of cutoff somewhere, and you realize that, or you would just say, okay, more is really better, and let me just stay in here until I'm Mr. Olympia. It doesn't work like that. All right, I'm gonna drop weight on this one here. We're gonna go into the singles. Start off my left arm, then my right. I'm still gonna push this one relatively heavy. Not relatively heavy, I'm gonna go as heavy as I can on this one. I don't even know what that would be. It's like probably like 140, some shit. My AM/PM split for back is usually back in the morning And then at night, it's usually arms, but you know, back is so bicep intensive, I feel like I can't really focus as much as I would like to whenever I do an arm day right after on the PM session. So I'm waiting on my day off and throwing it in there then. So just so I've got a little bit more rest on them, the biceps. And, you know, I'm going to try that out and see how that works. All right. We have hit our 45-minute mark for the second 45-minute workout. This should probably take like 5 minutes maybe, if that, not even. And I'm not gonna do a warm-up set, I'm just gonna go right into the max here. That's super good. Stretch all the way at the end, and then right into that contracted position. You can feel it hit the entire lat from the spine, all the way under, and all the way up into the trap. Oh, you guys have been hearing me talking about getting all the ego movements out of there. I feel like just really weren't doing anything other than just, I got a bunch of heavy weight on here, I'm doing it because everybody else is. You know, and just getting all those out of the way and just focusing on these exercises that's just like, God damn, I feel that burn so good with those workouts. I pretty much whittled my entire routine down just to those exercises that give you the maximum contraction and, you know, flex and squeeze and isolation on those movements I'm looking for and for that muscle group that I'm working. But okay. That was the PM workout for 75 hard, day 11. Diet's going good. I'm very slim through the day. It's almost, I don't want to say I'm in a fast mode, but I probably eat 1,000 calories broke up over the first 10 to 12 hours I'm up. Probably about the first 12 hours I'm up, and then I get the majority of my calories in after that. But the thing is, like, I've dropped 3 pounds since I've started the program. My abs are starting to come in. I've never really found my maintenance range of calories before, so I didn't really know what to expect, but I've got all organic foods, non-processed foods in there, foods that if you read the label, it's just literally one ingredient, like oats. You look at the label, It's not sugar and all these other additives. It's just oats. That's it, dude. And I'll tell you what, like, I didn't know exactly what to expect, but it's going really good. I'm more than happy with the progress. Whenever I think about cheating on my diet, I think like, because I'm starting to see progress every single morning that I wake up, I look at my body, I'm like, dude, I can see my abs are even more defined than they were yesterday. So it's like whenever I think about cheating on my diet or whatever, I think about you guys for one, and setting the example, leading by example. If I can't do it, how can I ask you guys to do it for one? But also, it's just like I play that tape forward, and it's just like, for one, I'll fucking be regretting it, and I'll have a guilty conscience, which I don't want to do. Plus, I'll have to start the program over. But one of the things that's actually motivating me the most is like, I want to see what my six-pack looks like tomorrow whenever I get up. And if I cheat on my diet now, then I'm going to be giving up that progress. And one thing about progress with diet is, well, say I screw it up today. Well, that's progress I could have made, right, today. And then now, since I've got to burn those calories off, that could be another day that I could have stayed making progress on the same diet. Now I've got to make up. So really, it almost sets you back not just one day or two, it might set you back 3 or 4. And if you're doing that once a week, I mean, you're literally knocking all your progress out for an entire week. And if you think that it's actually going to be okay, like, oh, it'll all work itself out, it might not. It might, if your cheat days are really, really small and the caloric deficit's there still, you might get away with it unknowingly. But if you're actually cheating, like I'm going to cheat, if I want to cheat, I'm going to cheat, you know? And then there's just no way I'm going to outwork that caloric intake. And just all the progress I could have made if I would have just stayed on the same path. So, but anyways, all right, guys, appreciate you guys following along. Please share, like, and subscribe for more content. I'm just going to keep these workouts going indefinitely. All I'm really doing is just, I'm a guy, single guy. I believe in building up my mind, building up my finances, building up my resources, and I'm doing this all for my potential family one day, right? And I believe it's a man's duty to be strong in spirit, soul, body, in his education, in his finances, all that stuff. So I'm a single guy, no one's around, and I'm literally just doing everything that I believe I should be doing to gain mastery over myself, my spirit, my soul, my body, all of these different aspects of my life. And I've stepped into certain things that have really worked for me, and I just want to pass them out, man, and serve as an example for everybody else too. So this isn't a type of lifestyle that I'm just trying to show off or is just something that's fleeting. Like I've actually, boiled all of these aspects about my life down to like my core being, as far as like, this is something I truly want for me. And I work out of this every single day. It's something that drives me. It's something that's not going anywhere. And so it's something I'm confident that can be just a day in and day out thing, because it's like at this part and point in my life, like I'm seeking mastery over self. And these are the things that I really enjoy. And back in the day, I'll end with this, but back in the day, man, whenever I was a drug addict and I became everything that I despised in a person, I would sit there and look at everybody else and be like, man, I wish I had discipline. Man, I lie to people. I ain't even got to lie to them. Like me and this dude was talking. I told him a lie. Like I didn't walking away. Like I didn't even have to tell him that. What the hell? Like I became everything I despised. And all of these character traits, I wanted to finish things. I didn't want to lie anymore. I wanted to be able to, be trustworthy and dependable. I wanted to be able to, all of these different things, man. Kind of forgot where I was going with that, but basically, like I wanted it to be a part of me, and it took a lot of work at first, right? But now I can gratefully say that these things have become a part of me, and like I'm just so grateful to know the joy of living that stuff out every single day, and that they're actually a part of me now, man. So with that, I'm really grateful, to bring this journey to you guys, and just to, be who I am, and just be at a point in time in my life where I can do this stuff. But yeah, all right, man, I'll see you guys later.